Hey everybody, it's Book of Katherine. So I'd like to thank Dinesh D'Souza for inspiring this take two of my Joe Biden versus Trump debate round one. So I just watched one of his responses. I'm sure he gave more than one response, but he gave a response to the debate, and he said, and if you haven't seen his movie Infidel, by the way, you should definitely see that. So, and he has another one, Trump card, coming out. So, but in the response, Dinesh says, so why is it so hostile? Like, we used to have these nice, calm debates. Well, and Reagan, you have to watch the Reagan debates. He's absolutely right. The Reagan debates, all the economics are almost identical. And it may, when you look back at the stats, honestly, Reagan just jumped the economy 7% around his first presidency, and he ended up winning all but one of the states on his second round. This time, Trump jumped it 14%. I know that much math, haha. And so you can only imagine how much he's going to win the states by this time, except that COVID happened, but it would have been amazing to see. Do you know what I'm saying? But he's probably a pretty popular president at this time around. You know? So anyway, all that being said, Dinesh was saying, why is it so abrasive? Why is it so abrasive? And, you know, I kind of seconded that. Why is it so abrasive? Especially since Trump is able to have such cordial Q&A sessions at his White House press briefings. So, sorry, it's the third time I've taken it, so my FND is like super kicking in. It's like, ooh, functional neurological disorder. So, so here is my take on that, the reason it's so aggressive. I don't share the same opinion that Dinesh D'Souza has. His opinion is that the two parties have moved far apart. That's true. The two parties' voting patterns have. Well, that's actually not true. The two parties' voting patterns have both moved very far left. The two parties, the GOP and the DNC, have both moved dramatically far left from the American people. The two parties, the GOP and the DNC of the American people, are still right where they always were. They've moved just a little bit left to where they were 30 years ago. Just barely. Not a whole lot. What's moved dramatically left is the voting habits of the GOP and the DNC, both of them. They've both moved dramatically far left. The difference is that the Democratic Party and the GOP, quite frankly, the GOP and the DNC have not told their constituents that. They both go to their constituents and they both tell their constituents, we still vote like bread and butter Democrats and Republicans. We still vote like the middle of the road. So, if you look at Joe Biden, if you look at the Democratic Party and who they voted, there were plenty of far left people for them to choose from, Kamala Harris being one of them. She was the first to go. They didn't elect Kamala Harris. The Democratic Party of America, the voting, and that's what's really important here. There is the Democratic Party funders, the people with the money, which is really the Euros, the global corporations, the same few families that have been running things for 3,000 years, the same trading families that have been running things for 1,000 years through the Roman Empire, the Chinese, and the same 5 empires, same families, right? That America broke away from. Well, they're back. They're back and they are buying out our politicians because they've got plenty of cash to do so. And our politicians don't have the ethics. We're not voting in politicians who have the ethics, you know, to say, no, I'm not viable. Instead, we're voting in politicians as long as they have a Harvard or Yale degree and a tie that looks nice and sharp. Well, Harvard and Yale degrees, those are all Roman Catholic. Well, that's what America divorced from. So they're like, yay, we'll go back to Roman Catholic. And Rome is like, good, you're back on stick again. And so now we're just right on the chain. and we're just on the chain again. So anyway, my point is this, is that if you go anywhere in America and you talk to a Democrat will tell you that most places, if you actually look at the recordings from 2018 with Project Veritas, you will see them actually say in like 50% or more of the districts, they will say, the Democrats go on record as saying, I will say I vote, pro-life to my constituents. The Democrats say that. I say I vote pro-life. And then they go and vote pro-choice. But the GOP does it too. That's how we got Donald Trump. The GOP, like Rand Paul, says he votes, pro-American, and then he goes out there and he votes for Iran. He votes for Iraq. He votes against our military every single time. He's voted against all the sanctions. That's against every single one. He has voted left more than Dianne Feinstein. So if we ignore the GOP, throw that out of it, really what's happening is this. It's not that it's so contentious out there. What I think was happening out there was this, is that Joe Biden was trying to put on a front that I'm still in the middle of America just like you voted me in. Look, he wore the face. He's white. He's Catholic. He's right in the middle. He's playing the face. Listen to his words. He's playing, I'm in the middle. I love religious liberty. I love religious freedom. I'll let you say what you want. I'll let you practice your freedoms. I'll let you do whatever what. And here's Trump over on the side saying that's not what the left wants. That's not what your party wants. That's not what and he's like, get away, man. Stop talking about what my party wants. Stop talking about the left that's really over here controlling me. And that's finally you see Trump go, you just lost the left, and you see it just destroy Biden. And when you see it destroy Biden, that he lost the left, that's what America's at-home, middle-of-the-road Democrats who really hate the left and elected him because they don't want the left. They saw it bothered him. That's it. That was the game. So it'll be interesting to see what the next debate is, but I really feel like it's over because the mask was ripped off. They saw it was all just a facade, that the middle-of-the-road guy they wanted doesn't actually exist. The guy they're actually going to get, and pay attention to the debate. What we really learned was, as much as he flew away and tried to get away and give the prepared speeches they gave him, what they saw was the reality. And the reality is a left-wing party. It's not the lie of the middle wing where all of America is in the middle, mostly pro-life, mostly agrees on everything, just wants to go to sports games and have their religious liberty left alone, their free speech left alone. Like everybody in this world, they want to be left alone. They want low taxes. They just want to be left alone. And most people who are Democrats because they think that it is loving to the poor. They have no idea that Democrats are the top 10 billionaires in this world. They have no idea that Bernie Sanders, that was the big break for me. Me and most of my friends, I was independent. Most of my friends were liberal. It was huge. This last 3 years has been a big. I can speak from all this on experience because most of my friends were liberal. I was independent, grew up. My mother was Democrat. It was big shock for me to find out that Hillary Clinton, to find out that any of them at all, and still to this day, now when I go out and talk to New Yorkers or talk to my students, I'm in a very liberal area, to talk to any of them, for any of them to find out that any Democrat has ever voted against religious liberty, ever. Listen to Bill Maher. He's on HBO saying that that's the core of the Democratic Party, still to this day. So it's contentious because I think Donald Trump was trying to rip off the mask. I think he did a good job of that. But that's my personal opinion. What's yours? Let's hear it. So thanks, Dinesh, for ripping me out of this bed. This is probably good for my health. And make sure you go see Infidel. And I am going to go pass out. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.